hang tight on that. Wow. Right, welcome back to the channel. So, in this video, we're at Burnham and Barrow, and we're just going to play a few holes, and I'm going to talk about my goals this year as a professional golfer, and sort of like where I am now, and how I'm going to go about improving. Because this year especially, like I've had years, you know, the last 4 or 5 years I've been focusing on improving, but I've just got myself in a situation where I've got a filmer, Matt behind the camera, so we can do some content together, and I'm looking into getting an editor. Just found myself in a situation where there's a bit more money coming in through the social media stuff, and that's allowing me to now have a bit more time to focus on my game. Because I'm not going to lie, for the past couple of years I've been like a half-time golfer and a half-time YouTuber, trying to manage the two, but I've just found myself in this point now, and I really want to push on. Like, I've got a bit of a competitive drive, like a spark ignited in me. Bit dramatic. Yeah, I just want to give it a go. Like, I really want to give it a go. So we're going to talk about what I need to do and what the goals are. So let's play. Okay, so we got 2-3-3, and the wind is pretty strong and pretty much straight across. Just for the fact that it's about 6 degrees, we're playing this 10 yards further. So 3 irons probably not quite enough club to get it back there, but if we aim left side of the green, we should be able to get it on the front edge. Needs to go. It's really got up on the wind quite a bit, that. Yeah. Well, that leads us on to the next thing I want to, well, one of the things I want to talk about, which is a certain area of the game that we need to focus on heavily this year, which is anything between not putting from around the green and a full wedge. So, sort of an area where I find myself a lot, especially hitting it quite a long way, is that area of, 30 yards to 90, where it's not a full wedge, it's a half wedge. And if you're really good from that distance, you can just take advantage and give yourself so many birdie looks. But it's an area in the past where I've really struggled, so we'll talk about that now. But physically, and this is really just an update video for people that are interested in sort of like how I'm getting on with, the progress and all that stuff. I went and saw someone. So we did a load of tests, and he got me like moving and getting my arms moving in different directions and stuff. And I did my rotator. I must have strained it or slightly torn it when I was quite young. I was like doing Arnie dumbbell flies really deep. And what's happened is, he said, the muscle that runs across the top of the shoulder all the way up to the trap, it's just completely full of scar tissue. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'd have probably heard me moan about my upper back being tight, and occasionally I sleep on it bad. And what's happened is, because there's loads of scar tissue, it's like pulled all the muscles in. And if you like rub your hands around the top of my back, bit weird, it's just full of knots. So I'm having shockwave therapy, which is really weird. It's got like this gun, and it's like, and it breaks down the scar tissue to allow it to repair. So that is going on in the background at the moment. Basically, not having any mobility around your shoulder and your trap isn't great when you're trying to like separate yourself here, because you literally can't. I've noticed that shoulder presses, I'm really, really weak, and it's just because my shoulder can't actually work properly. So I imagine fixing that might help my golf. We're in the zone right now. So we got about, I'll just wait for these fine gentlemen. Right, so we're in the area that I've previously been quite scared of. 30 yards uphill off a tight wet lie. Not much green to work with. Let's see how we're getting on. Okay, that's pretty good. yeah, like I said in the video before, I'm still getting used to what happens when the ball comes off the grooves. So we'll get the touch, but what I've been working on in terms of getting the vertical swing plane up and that stuff I keep banging on about that's really helping my strike, it's then finding a way of, right, how do I then move that back to pitching when you're making a bit more of a full of swing. Just one all the way. Okay, downhill, downwind. Greens are amazing here at Burnham today. The fact that it's winter golf, a full cup outside right edge. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a Ronnie straight into wind. So this is probably playing about 10 now, maybe 15 further, maybe 20 further, just because it's like a cold northerly wind. So 147 plus 20, 167, 167, and it's got to be like a baby one. So like I'm gonna play a 170 feeling 8-iron, which is just taking a bit off of it, which should keep the spin off of it anyway. Yes, either this or a 7-iron. Hold. Ah, it's a bit shit, isn't it? Yeah, that's fine. That's like, just got a bit ahead of it. Trying to squeeze it a bit too much. Almost just feel like a normal 8-iron, I think. Yeah. Do you think you get out of that? Do you want to have a go? Yeah, shall we? Alright. I'm going to whack you in there. What do you want, 60 degree or 56?
I like 56.
56? Do you think you could do it with a Dunlop 65? There you go. And now we have Matt Peterson. He's got a 8-foot lip, the Dunlop 65. He's got his winter mitts and the 56 degree wedge.
It's actually higher than it looks, isn't it?
Mate, it's ridiculous. I don't think the camera's really doing it justice, but if we get... That makes it even... Yeah. Oh! That's not bad effort.
Do you want to try?
Shall I try? Yeah. Is that close?
That is close.
Is that close?
That is very close.
Oh! I'd probably putt this, just because you can roll it through here quite easily. But we're just messing about. This is going to be quick off the right. Going to aim at the flag shadow. And it should just release down nicely. So a little chip and run into the flag shadow, 60 degree. What's that? A short game? Okay, so this is about as difficult as you could have a final hole of the video. It's about 450, I think, maybe a bit shorter, but it's probably playing about 520 today, just because we're into off the left on a cold wind. It's about 275 carry for the trap, and we're going to take it at the trap and let it drift on the wind. Like, that would be a massive carry today in these conditions. Especially when you're spinning it at like 2.8. Yeah. So I guess the last thing to talk about, and this is probably not an area that I've focused on enough, and that is like performance stuff and the mental side to golf. And I was having a thought the other day. Fucking hell, I speak English. I was having a think about this subject the other day. And you know there's always that cliche, like, you know, how much of golf is mental, how much of sport is mental. Is it 80%, is it 90%, is it whatever? But when you think about it, like every action that you perform every decision that you make all starts from your brain and like your headspace. So getting that in a good spot and trying to find a way of controlling your emotions on the golf course is just like so important for performance. So I've found in the past, I've sort of just come across different things on my own, not in that way. Sorry. I've found a few different techniques and ways of me to sort of stay in the present on the golf course. And I've noticed every good round I've played, when I've performed well in a professional tournament, I've shot a low number, I've generally felt very much like at ease, at peace throughout the round, and maintain that. So if I hit a bad golf shot, or a few different things, like you get a bad break, whatever, I've managed to stay in a pretty calm state. And that's just focusing on either having a song in your head that you're humming, you don't have to sing out loud, and that really helps you stay in the present, or focusing on breathing. And Tiger Woods doesn't really talk about it much, but because of the upbringing he had, there's just no doubt about it. Like, Tiger Woods' mental game was just the best ever on the golf course. And one of the things that he always fell back on was the meditation and the breathing. And I think when he won the Masters last, did Tony Finau play with him in the last group? I think he did. Tony Finau said he didn't speak to Tiger for the first like 16 holes, because Tiger's playing golf, hitting a shot, and in between walking to the next tee box or the green, you can see it. If you watch that back, he's like in a different realm. Like, he's not paying attention to anything. He looks like he's just focusing on his breath, staying in the present, and that in itself just conserves so much energy and just puts you in this nice performance state. So that's the stuff that has helped me, and I've sort of fallen upon that without seeking that out. But what I'm really gonna go into in this whole, what I'm really going to focus on as I'm trying to improve is, we've got to get the short game sharp, putt well, pitch well, but I'm going to try and seek out some really good advice in terms of like performance coaches and the mental side of golf, and try and get as many opinions as possible and just try and pick the good bits that might help. And I'm going to be sharing all that stuff as well. So 156 into off the left, probably playing 165. I'm probably going to play a 165 feeling 8 iron, just because it's going to take the spin off it. I'll just tug pull it. Oh, that was so flush as well. That is really tough from there. So yeah, just to summarise, we're just trying to get ready for this year, feeling really, really positive, training, trying to get the body in a good spot, working really hard on the game, staying healthy, so like not really drinking that much, trying to avoid the old sesh, and just being in a good spot. So let's try and close this off with an up and down. This is 2 cups left from here. Rapid. There we go. So yeah, trying to get to 100k as well. So if you could subscribe, I'd really, really appreciate it. We're on a big push for 100k. It means we can play bigger YouTubers, we can travel more of the world, we can play tournaments all over. So exciting stuff coming up. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching. Let's go.